Howdy mates, good afternoon. Here's the third video for today. So I'm at another portion of the perimeter trail at the Caesar Creek State Park, and I wanted to focus this video particularly upon these types of trees. And for those of you who might be tree experts, what is the first tree that comes to mind in terms of the name? If you thought American beech, you would be correct. American beech is also known as Fagus grandifolia. It's its scientific name. They're very well known to have a spreading canopy, and actually it looks like this one still hasn't quite grown its leaves yet. Considering, well, American beech usually doesn't release its leaves until it approaches springtime. So actually, a lot of these American beeches are still developing their new leaves, so that's why they still look rather bare right now. But the American beech is very distinctive by having its very smooth bark. And not only that, but they provide an excellent food source, nesting, and as well as they just provide an excellent means of shelter and food, especially among squirrels, raccoons, and even opossums. They are typically shade tolerant, but they usually prefer to have partial to full sunlight, which they eventually will, as they have a chance to grow a bit more. However, though, the problem is, some of you may have noticed before, like especially with some of the larger American beech, that some people carve into them because of their smooth bark. However, you really don't want to do something like that because it actually subjects it to the beech bark disease, which means disease and pathogens can travel into the tree bark and thus eventually causing the tree to die. So it's an issue, and it's something you don't really want to do. I mean, think of it this way. This is an analogy I've used. If you carve something into yourself, it'll hurt and it'll heal, but the problem is it'll be a scar. And really, it's no different than this tree. Even with these markings, they may slowly disappear, but there's still going to be a scar in the tree. It's permanent. You can't get rid of it. So think of it that way. How would you like if you were being marked on and then it just leaves a scar for the rest of your life? And it could cause maybe a skin infection, That's the point I'm trying to make, is trees, in a way, are very similar to the human anatomy. When it comes to them needing food and water, they're very similar to us, in a sense. You know what I mean? But yeah. And not only that, but they do produce these little beech nuts. That's their fruit. And they are indeed edible. And they usually have a prickly outer covering. And with that being said, I've mentioned this before, but if you don't have coffee with you, like coffee beans, you can actually brew beech nuts and use it as a coffee substitute. So we actually have a very handy use for American beech trees. But unfortunately, they have, due to the carvings and whatnot, they've actually been in serious decline over the past couple of decades. So it's just simple. Just leave no trace, Leave no trace. Leave it as it should be. And that's the point. Yeah, actually, here is an American beech, but some of its leaves have actually had a chance to grow. This is a more mature one. Yeah, here you are. They kind of have like a prickly appearance. They have toothed edges. And typically, the leaves are also alternate, too, on the twig. So alrighty. Thought I would share that with you guys. Hope you learned something about the American beech. They are a unique tree, but please, please, don't carve into them. Not worth it. Because that just gets rid of its natural beauty. And what's the likelihood that you may even see your carving again? You know? So, just a piece of advice. And, alrighty. Hope all of you get to enjoy your Sunday, and Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.